Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and juicy and delicious little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you oh so deliciously wherever you are in the world. So what do? 3, 2, 1, beam me up my juicy little lads. Thank you, little lads, you lovely brat. Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to any passers-by, and I hope that you too, and much love to you all, are having a super delicious time wherever you are in the world, and that life is treating you also most wonderfully. Okay, now our weather in our old neck of the woods in the old UK, well, very little wind, sorry, okay, dry, okay, the snow has more or less gone now, okay, but it is still rather chilly, but not as chilly as the past couple of days, okay, because sometimes you can get, you know, when it's snowing and you can get it where it's warm, okay, but in this case it was very cold. Okay, so that's what's going on in our neck of the woods in the old UK. It may be differing in other parts of the old UK, okay. Now then, you do happen to enjoy my video today, please click on the like. For others of you, please feel free to subscribe. For others of you, please feel free to comment. And finally, please share, because sharing is caring. Now then, so this morning I was listening to videos, okay, my delicious little babies. Now it turns out that you had, 1.2 million protesting in France. Okay, well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there, but, well, that's a very large number, isn't it, my delicious and wonderful little babies, yes? Well, of course, you'll never hear that in the box in the corner of the old room. Do you understand what I mean? Because they do not want to tell you the truth, okay? But this is like all different things going on, okay? So this is all to do with, you know, the cost of living and various other things. And of course, with the French, God bless them, you know, they do not like their leader, Macron. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Well, I mean, flipping, I do not like him either. Do you understand what I mean? And I'm sure many others do not like him. In fact, to be quite honest with you, I do not really like any leaders, to tell you the truth, okay? And like I said before, and I say it again, the only sensible one who, you know, God bless him with his old noddle, who has any ounce of common sense, seems to be Putin, okay? Anyway, so that's what's going on there. Now then, so you've also got, so I'm just ticking things off because I have to write things down, my delicious little baby. Sometimes I write things down and sometimes not, okay? So this is what's going on here. Now in Spain, what was it, 40,000, and you're not going to believe this, my delicious little babies, police officers, old Bill, protesting, okay? And it's all to do with, well, I suppose there's a number of things, but it's to do with like, you know, and these cameras and, you know, just different things going on, okay, my delicious little babies. So that's what's going on there. So you've also got protests in Germany, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, so there's protests going on there as well. Also in Brussels, okay, you've also got, you know, an extremely large number of tractors and, you know, farmers, do you understand what I mean, in different parts of the world who are also, you know, rising up here. Do you understand what I mean? Because of what the shite, you know, that them and the putrid little lackeys, you know, want to flipping inflict, you know, in the world. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and then you've still got Syria. God bless the beautiful dear little souls over there, okay, who are still being invaded, okay. Now, the fact of the matter is that this is rather blatant, isn't it? You know, it's oil, do you know what I mean, other resources and things like this, yes? So that's what's going on there. So please, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there, please, if you could just say your prayers, God bless them all, for the beautiful little Syrian man and woman, okay, little bairns and little babies and everything, okay, because they're not really getting any help, they're not really getting anything, do you know what I mean? But again, you got the pirates, there we go, you got the pirates going in, do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? So that's what's happening there, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there, right? Now, the next thing I want to say is that, you know, because they're bringing in, you know, well, I have been, haven't they, you know, even in our neck of the woods in the old UK, you know, bringing in cameras here, there and flipping everywhere. Do you see what I mean? Well, it turns out that in different parts that these cameras, before I even say it, yes, are being vandalised. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong here, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there, right? So why would cameras be vandalised? Ding, 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 dong, dong, dong. Because this is the public who are not liking. They are not wanting this, you know, put upon them. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But of course you had that silly twat flipping Sadiq Khan, yes? You know, basically, you know, sort of not sparing a thought at all for his citizens, you know, in London or anything like this. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, and coming out with a crock of shite, because that's all that comes out of the majority of all their mouths is a crock of, there we go, it's a crock of flipping shite. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. So, well, what did they expect? My delicious and beautiful little babies out there. Now, I knew that this, there we go, before I'm even saying it to you, my delicious little babies, I knew a long time what's going to happen here, right? So, the sooner do the cameras go up, okay? Well, you know, they're either, like, is being, you know, what's happening now, sorry, yes, they're either going to be vandalised or others are just going to, there we go, or they're just going to rip them down. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And I mentioned about on one of my other videos, you know, days ago now, cannot remember exactly what date, my delicious and beautiful little babes out there, but I said about the 5G and I couldn't remember whether it was Spain or whether it was Italy. But like I say, they flipping, you know, sawed it down. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Because, I mean, they cannot just keep putting things upon us. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But they're blatantly taking no notice. I mean, they've got to remember here, my delicious little babies, that they are the servants here. They serve us. Do you see what I'm, there we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? And of course, we're hearing in our neck of the woods in the old UK, that, you know, ones, I mean, this has been going on for years, my delicious, there we are, and wonderful little babies out there, this has been going on a long time for years, right? You write a letter to your MP, who is supposed to be there to help you, right? Well, of course, they're not doing anything to help, this has been going on a long time, years. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? So, really, I'm not being nasty what I say, but I just tell it the way it is. Why are others shocked? There we are. Why are they shocked at this? Something that's been going on for decades. Do you see what I mean? Yes? So, you know, at the end of the day, and then if you've got say an MP who does want to help, well then he has everyone against him. There we are. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So this is why it's so difficult to make changes. Because not everybody is rowing in the same direction. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And that's what I said before, and I say it again. I mean, these protests, what's going on, going back to the protests for a moment, my delicious and beautiful little babes out there. Well, I'm telling you straight, it's going to get worse. Do you see what I mean? Because there's going to be more and more and more delicious little babies, there we go, before I even say it, around the world, who just flipping damn well had enough of this shite. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got another country. What country is it now? I can't flipping remember now. I never wrote it down. Is it Tunisia? I can't remember if it's... Oh, anyway, if I've got it wrong, my delicious little babies, because nobody's correct all the time. I'm not right all the time, yes. What I'm saying to you is it might be Tunisia. Well, they're trying to get rid of their leader. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, I know it's in a country like that, right? But they're trying to get rid of their leader. You see, you know, I've said before, I've been saying how long now, my delicious and beautiful little babes out there. How long have I been saying this? I was done saying it, wasn't I? You got to get rid of them all. Get rid of all of them because they're all poison. It doesn't matter what country, and God bless everybody in every other country, yes. But the fact of the matter is, you're dealing with poison. Poisonous individuals, yes. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And of course, you know, for most, they're quite happy to sleep at night. Okay, because they're not having the hardship, they're not having what's it called, the energy crisis, they're not having all of these issues, yes, they're not having food shortages, you know, they're not having, say with farmers, you know, who are trying to protect their land, they're not having any of this. Do you see what I mean? But they want to sort of say to us, well, they're not sort of, right? The fact of the matter is, it's like they want to be done telling us, to dictate to us. When they've got those, right, who are ruling them, the putrid. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Well, we're not a-liking. We do not want this shite. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Just to let you know, my delicious little babies, I want to say something else, right? In fact, let me leave that till last, right? I want to talk about this. So that's what's going on there. So please, my delicious little babies, please expect more. There we go. Do I even say it? Please expect more of this, my delicious little baby, because like I say, it's just going to get worse, okay? Because they're peeing everybody off. Do you see it? And really, what they should really do is come out of their roles and flipping F off nicely. That's what they should do. Do you see what I mean? Yes? Well, of course, you will find over a certain length of time that some will be jumping ship. Yes, they will. Do you see what I'm saying? There we are. Yes, because at the end of the day, they'll soon know that the game, there we are, that the game is over. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And please do not be surprised if you hear with some leaders or, you know, or other parts of these governments all over the world globally. Please do not be surprised if, and I'm not here to incite violence, I'm just telling it the way it is. Please do not be surprised if you hear that there's going to be, you know, some form of a violence, there we go, taking place, okay? Because everybody just peed off big time. Do you see what I'm saying to my delicious little babies? Now, I want to talk about something today. So, you know, so I want to talk about when the first fountain pen was invented. Now, so this is a completely different subject now. So what it is that, I mean, I remember when I was in senior school, okay, I'm going back some decades now, what delicious, they're beautiful little babies out there, yes? Well, we were asked that, you know, we had to use, we couldn't use like a normal biro like this, no, we had to use fountain pens. And I've lost count. And I remember it took my old noddle back, you know, to all those years ago, when I remember, I mean, the amount of flipping pencil cases that I flipping went through. My delicious, wonderful little babies out there, right? Because my flipping, my fountain pens just kept flipping leaking. Do you see what I mean? You know, the blue ink flipping everywhere. And then, of course, you get it on your hands and there you are writing. Because the thing is with fountain pens, now, I found, and there were a few in our school, right, and I'm going back decades, yes, a few in our school who they just could not use a fountain pen. In fact, there were more than a few actually, okay, because there is a certain, you know, knack to how you write with a fountain. I know it sounds really silly to you, my delicious little babies, yes, but there's a certain knack to writing with a fountain pen. Do you see what I mean? Yes. But of course, when it started to leak, well, flipping, all your fingers were just flipping covered in flipping ink. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, let me fast forward. So when was the first fountain pen invented? So the oldest fountain pen still around today was designed by M. Bion, a Frenchman in 1702, okay, according to what I'd read, okay, and I've wrote some things down, okay. Peregrine Williamson, a Baltimore shoemaker, received the first American patent for such a pen in 1809. Okay, my delicious little babies, yes? Now then, John Skeffer received a British patent in 1819. This is all according to what I've read, my delicious little babies, yes? Right. For a half quill, half metal pen, okay, that he attempted to mass manufacture, okay, John Jacob Parker patented the first self-filling fountain pen in 1831, okay? Now, most of these were plagued by ink spills, okay, such as one waterman experienced, okay, and other failures made them impractical and hard to sell. Okay, now the thing is, it talks about a number of other things, okay, to do with the fountain pen, but I just wanted to write just that bit down, okay, because of course, if you look at, say, our fake flipping monarchy, the fake flipping royal family in our neck of the woods in the old UK, right? Well, you see, the thing is, they would usually not use a biro. They would usually use juicy sweet. And then if we go further and further and further back, okay, I haven't got one here, but they used to use feathers. Okay, now some of you delicious little babies will know this, but for other delicious little babies, you will not. So what they do, they'd have like a little tiny ink pot, and then what they do is that they dip the feather in, like a feather. Do you see what I mean? Not the fluffy side, but the other side, yes. And then they'd dip that in, and then they'd write with that. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So the point is that if you're signing a very important document, okay, then these like I said, the fakes, okay, they would use a fountain pen. Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong. So a while back, what was it? That Prince Charles, who's not a prince at all, the one who they want us to have as a king, who he'll never be a king to me anyway, right? And nobody's better than anybody. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear as well, my delicious and wonderful little babies out there, okay? That's how I see things. Nobody's better than anybody, okay? But if you remember, his fountain pen leaked, didn't it? Went on his fingers. Do you know what I mean? And that's supposed to be the future king of our country. Are they having a flipping laugh? Because I think they are, my delicious and beautiful little babies out there. I think they are, okay? Well, not I think, I know, right? So that's to do with the fountain pen. Something just made me, for some reason this morning, with me old noddle, and I just had this on my mind, fountain pen, fountain pen, fountain pen. So I thought, yes, I'll look into this. Anyway, so I just thought I'd mention that now, finally. So I went to the shops yesterday. And anyway, I was talking to this dear lady. Oh, God bless her, and God bless her dear mum, okay? Well, you know about this whole pandemic and the old jab, jib, jabs, right? Well, her dear mum, okay, because we was having a conversation, yes, and God bless, yes, and God bless anybody who very sadly has fallen into this trap. God bless them all, okay, and God bless all the dear little souls who have passed, okay? Well, the thing is, she was explaining, that a dear mum had to have, the jabs. Well, of course, never had to have. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. But, for some reason had it. Yes. Okay. Now then, what it is that her dear mum now, where she used to be able, let's just say, to concentrate with things, to do things. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Well, now, okay, all her dear mum, God bless her beautiful dear soul, she lies down, okay? So she lies down, yes? And all she does is stare at the ceiling. My delicious and beautiful little babies out there, that's what she does. So this dear lady who was explaining it to me, God bless her, and God bless her dear mum again, once again, yes? Well, that shouldn't cause that, should it? My delicious little babies out there. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So that quality of life that a dear mum should have had, well, it's now been taken away. And the dear lady's exact words, and she took the words straight out of my mouth. She said, my dear mum, she said, she's not living, she's just existing. Isn't that sad, my delicious little babies? Yes. Flipping appalling. Yes, it is. It's flipping appalling. It's disgusting what's taking place, okay? And I will not shut up about it. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. We have a right to speak, and I will flipping speak about this, okay? Because it's disgusting what's being done anyway. So then I was talking to this gentleman, okay, and we just have a little natter. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes, and we give each other a hug, not like that, my delicious little babies, okay? It's like, you know, sort of, oh, hello, how are you? Okay? Let me just have a sip of my coffee, please, and thank you. And he was explaining to me, because what happened was we had to talk quietly, you know, like really quietly, you know, not quite whispering, but quietly, yes. And he was explaining that he went to a funeral. Oh, God bless the dear little soul, okay? He went to a funeral and, well, anyway, fast forward, he met this woman, okay, this lady, okay? And, of course, you know, I mean, obviously he's single and this lady's single, okay? So, you know, he was saying to me, you know what I mean, Mia? Do you see what I mean? He says, so, you know, he invited her for a coffee, you know, in the daytime, like, he invited her for a coffee, yes? Now, what he said was, because the question that he asked this dear lady was, okay, well, have you had the jab? Do you see what I mean? Right? He said, because I'm going to be honest with you. He said, you know, words to effect, shall we say, that, well, he doesn't want to know anybody who have had the jab. That's just his, you know, that's his feelings, okay? Everybody is different in how they feel about things, okay? So he asked your lady there a question, and of course she answered, well, yes, I have. So he said to me, he says, you know what, Mia? He said, from that moment, he said, I said, game over. He said, you know, he said, somebody could be so gorgeous, good looking, you know, this is all words to effect, my delicious little babies, yes, could be so nice, okay? And he said, but, he said, if they've had the jab, right? He said, game over. He said, I'll just look at it a completely different way. Well, of course, this lady, you know, because what he's saying is, you know, is basically what I've said, okay? I've said on a previous video months and months ago, okay? My choice was not to take any jab, right? That was my choice, okay? And God bless, okay? So I'm not saying this to be nasty to anybody out there, okay? But thank God, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our dear Creator, I did not. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes, you know, when we're hearing what's going on, okay? So, and God, like I say, I'll say once more, God bless everybody who's, you know, very sadly been forced, you know, forced or coerced or, you know, what happens, sorry, yes? Anyway, but I said the same. You know, I could have some blurk come up to me and he could, you know, he could look flipping super duper delicious, but guess what? My delicious little babes out there, my health is far more flipping important to me than, I'm just going to say it because I just say it the way it is, than getting my flipping leg over. There we are. Do you see what I mean? My health is more important. Do you see what I'm saying to you, yes? So I would be the same. Of course, I would word things differently. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But anyway, well, this lady, well, she, you know, she actually said to him, she said, well, actually, she said, I feel that you're rude for what you said to me. You know, so this is what's going on. Do you see what I mean? But for for himself, well, he's like the same as me, isn't it? You know, you've got to think of your health, haven't you? Do you see what I'm saying? But what it is, it's just he come out with it a certain way. And I did say to him, actually, I said, you know something? I said, it is said, you know. I said, superstition has it, right, that if you meet somebody at a funeral, well, it's a relationship that would never work out anyway. Whereas if you met somebody at a wedding, then you would have more chance of the relationship working out. That's only superstition, my delicious little babies, yes? But he says, but you know, but to he says to me, he says, but I flipping felt disappointed, Mia. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, he says, because, you know, she was a very nice lady. But the second she said that, he said, no. Do you see? So these are some of the things, my delicious little babies, that, you know, and it's not just himself, myself, or, do you see what I mean? Saying these things, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you could get others in the world, God bless them, yes, who have been jabbed, yes, and you could get them and say, oh, I won't go with anybody who has not been jabbed. Do you see what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. There we are. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So, you know, I just thought I'd mention that, but yes. And then the other thing I want to say, I put up a shorts, just a little video yesterday evening. Now, before anybody thinks, anyway, I do not know what anybody else thinks about this anyway. My point is, nobody knows what somebody else is thinking, right? But you see, what it is, because we have not had our bins emptied, because normally they would come on a Thursday and, well, they haven't arrived. Okay, now obviously to me, my delicious little babies, I can only assume that this is because of the bad weather, the snow and everything like that, yes? Whereas years ago, right, all sorts of weather and they'd still be out, do you see what I mean? Anyway, so we just had to leave our bins out. Well, of course, you had like cars here, yes? So what it is that, you know, and of course, because they were getting into the cars, do you know what I mean, neighbours and so forth, yes, is that, well, you know, they didn't want to put the bins, you know, where they open the car door and then, you know what I mean, it, you know, damages their door, you know, their doors, do you see? So that's why they all went on that side, but usually I'd have, you know, my neighbour, my lovely neighbour upstairs, and she would put her bins next to mine, do you see what I mean? Now, this got me to thinking, that's why I did that shorts video, that if we look at, you know, Polish, Romanian, Spanish, right? And, I mean, they've been shafted as well. You know what I mean? At some point, they've been shafted by the British as well. Do you know what I mean? Which is these, you know what I mean? The flipping lackeys. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? And a couple of years ago, this reminded me of something else as well. My delicious little babies, a couple of years ago, somebody who I know, okay? Her best friend, God bless, okay? Well, her best friend and her husband, who are Polish, God bless them, okay? Because, you know, they came to say goodbye, you know, to one another, okay? Now, her best friend was asked to leave the UK, and her husband, okay? Now, they'd built a life here for about 8 years. My delicious little babies, so they built a life, you know what I mean? They were happy living here, do you see what I mean? Yes, but then they were told that basically, God bless, you know, this is really simply the way it's gone. I don't mean that nastily. I mean, it was so sad, you know, she was really upset, yes, crying, yes, saying goodbye to her best friend, yes. Well, it's basically saying that you've outstayed your welcome. Okay, so let's just look at this, shall we? So they'd worked, okay, so from the time that they come to our neck of the woods in the old UK, so they'd worked, okay, they paid the taxes, they did everything, right? And then it's like they get told, oh, well, you've got to leave and go back to Poland. Do you see what I mean? There's a reason why when I did that little... So it's got nothing to do, just to let you all know, my delicious little babies, I get along with all of my beautiful and delicious little neighbours. I do. I get along with all of them, okay? So it wasn't meant as in, do you know what I mean, versus me, like British versus, it wasn't meant that way. How it was meant was, I was explaining that they too get flipping shafted. But what I'm saying is, okay, so that's the only reason why the bin's there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, it's just out of the way of any cars. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, my point is, please do not be surprised now, my delicious little babes. I don't know why I'm saying, anyway, I do know why, but it's just, you know, do not be surprised if other nationalities and then they've got to go back to their own countries. Yes. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. I do not know why. It's just, do you see what I'm saying? Yes. It wasn't meant in that manner at all. Okay. Because I get along with everybody. Like I said, there's only a couple on the road. You know, who I don't, like I say, do you know what I mean? Wish them well. At the end of the day, you know, they live their life and I live mine. Do you see what I mean? But I get along with everybody. I really do, you know, I get along with everybody. And anyway, you've seen over the months, you know, when I've had my beautiful and delicious little neighbours up the road, down the road, do you see what I mean? And the wave, and do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But yes, please do not be surprised at that. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. And of course, very lastly, what I want to just say, so there is, one more very lastly. Well, of course, everybody's talking about Gary Lineker, aren't they? I mean, it's at the end of the day, all of these distractions, there we go, that's what it is, right? All of these distractions, and by the way, just to say, I hope that, that dear lady and her husband, who had to go back to Poland, I hope, please God, that they settled back and they were happy, God bless them, do you know what I mean? But it's so sad when they built a life and then they've got to leave. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. So I'm sure that it would have been happening in other countries as well. But let's not forget, sorry, I've just got to mention this, but let's not forget as well that when a lot of Polish, Romanian, do you see what I'm saying? Yes, came to our country, yes, they were either in car washes or they were doing building work or something like that. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes. But at the end of the day, when they're paying there we are, before I even say it, when they're paying their taxes and everything else, right, what reason would anyone have to deport them, ask them to leave? Do you see what I'm saying to you, my delicious little babes? I just thought that story was so sad. I really, really did, And there'd be others who, very sadly, in our neck of the woods in the old UK and in other countries, who, would have built a life and then been asked to leave. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so, it's like goes on everywhere, it seems, but God bless them. Very sad story. So what was the very last thing I was just about to say? Do you know something? It's just gone out my flipping old noddle. Just gone out. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. Okay, I've forgotten what I was going to say. My delicious little babies, okay. So that's all we really wanted to say, really, to be honest with you, my delicious little babies, yes. So, it's a case where, there's lots of different mixtures of feelings, there we go, with different matters, do you see what I mean? But, like I say, getting back to that, sorry, yes, the distractions, well, all these distractions, so they can be doing other things, yes, but please, like I say, I'm going to repeat it once more, please do not be surprised at all, my delicious little babies, that you're going to hear there's more protests, there's more vandalism, there's more things happening, yes, and it will get larger. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes, but of course, like I said before, and I'll say it again, you've got the crap media, okay? Because that's not real journalism, not at all. It's really not, okay? They're just not going to tell you the truth. Do you see what I mean? Because if they was to tell you the truth, then of course it would wake others up, God bless them, who are not quite awake yet, yes? And then, it would give them more, an incentive, shall we say, to organise protests. There we go. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? So this is what's going on. But I wasn't surprised at all at hearing any of this. Not surprised at all. Okay? I just feel that what's going to happen is here, right, is that they're just not going to get away. I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. My delicious little baby, so I'm just going to close my book. Okay? They're simply just not going to get away with what they're doing. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? Because when it comes down to it, and you're not even asking the public in any country, any one of our countries, what we want, okay, and you're dictating, telling us what's going to be happening, right? Well, that's just not on. It's not on. It's not acceptable. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Yes? But like I say, it would not end very well. It will not, I'm telling you straight. Yeah? So that's it. Anyway, so that's my video, my delicious little babies. Yes, so, thank you so much, very much for listening, okay? And, you just have a beautiful, super duper day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, my delicious little babies, yes, and please continue to feel the love, okay? And please give a tap on the back, a shake of the old hand, okay? And in some cases, with some family members, some friends, some work colleagues, give them a great big hug and tell them that they're beautiful, wonderful, juicy and delicious. and that you love them so, okay? So until my next video, my delicious little babies, you just all take care now, and please try and take care of others as well, okay? Just a listening ear sometimes is what's needed. Okay, my delicious little babies. So until my next video, much love, God bless, take care, thank you, goodbye.